Good morning. It seems that the environmental NGOs have had little bad luck today because I'm not Sini Harkki. She felt ill also and couldn't join us today, but my regards from her. I would like to share a few words about how Greenpeace is working. We are the other of the big international NGOs, and we certainly share the same goals as WWF. We do a lot of cooperation. Perhaps we sometimes have a little bit different style of working, but however we are working, we have the same goals we are working towards to. Let's see if okay. And the vision is quite obvious for an environmental NGO. Our goal is to ensure that we save the planet, meaning that the ecosystems of this planet would be working so that life would be not in danger, in risk, and that we don't lose any of our biodiversity. So very ecological definition of our vision. And this is how it all started. 1971, a bunch of hippies got this idea that if we are going to a place where the US Army was planning to have a nuclear test, they wouldn't do it. The idea was about bearing witness, to go there to tell the world what is happening. Well, actually they didn't succeed with that specific nuclear test, but the wave that it created was so big that already in the same year Pentagon abandoned nuclear testing on Aleutian Islands, which are ecologically very important islands of Alaska. So it worked. And what happened then, we grew to this size. We are having now a worldwide organization working in more than 40 countries around the world, in 27 different regional organizations. One of them is Greenpeace Nordic here in this part of the world. And about Nordic cooperation, we are having a little bit more than cooperation. We are working as a single team on a daily basis together with the other regional offices around the world. We are seeking to protect biodiversity in all its forms, in forests, on oceans, all over the globe. Prevent pollution and abuse of Earth's natural resources. Still trying to end all nuclear threats, though the focus is now more on the risks of civil use of nuclear power than it was in 1971 during the Cold War times. And still, this goal remains to promote peace, global disarmament, and non-violence. Some basic principles. We are totally committed to non-violence in our work. Our founding fathers in the 1971, they were strong pacifists, Quakers, very strictly pacifistic persons, and this heritage has remained. So we are totally committed to non-violence in all our work. But we take action based on conscience. This is the bearing witness idea, and it is usually we can't stop things from happening, but it's about going there and showing the world that these things happen and create awareness and public discussion, if possible, as a huge wave that would change things. And we are independent, and this means most of all financial independence. We take funding only from private persons. We don't have financial cooperations with companies, and we don't get any funding from any government agency anywhere in the world. We don't have permanent friends or enemies. We cooperate with them. We have reached very good results with several big companies. Some of them we saw. We have found the same big companies all over the world as we just saw on the previous slides. Coca-Cola, McDonald's, here in Finland, Stora Enso. We have got very good results on different areas, but we are still free to act if something changes and new problems occur. And we promote solutions. The most important one of the solutions we are providing is the energy scenario for the world, which is, by the way, pretty similar to the one WWF has. So there is also, we could say, a shared goal. So there should be a blueprint for a better world when you are acting to create awareness of the problems of today. Some examples of our work before. This is from 1995. Some of you might remember from those times. That is the Shell oil storage platform Brent's Pass on the North Sea. There was a loophole in the London Convention that prohibits dumping waste into the sea. It didn't say anything about oil platforms. It was allowed to dump them, sink them to the bottom when they were used. And this, we believe that there was still some oil left in it. There was a big discussion how much, but still there were oil left in it. And this then became quite an iconic environmental battle, because Shell reacted quite heavily, showing also some violence, which was a problem. But this, on the other hand, created such a wave that a huge amount of NGOs, even churches like the German Catholic Church, in the end supported us. And the loophole in London Convention was mended, and you can't sink oil platforms to the sea bottom anymore. 10 years later, that's Brent's Pass. That's a harbor in Norway. The thing was taken to Norway to be dismantled, and it was recycled as when they were building a new harbor in Norway. So it ended happily. Climate change is perhaps the major focus of our work today, and there are several ways how to force the society to move from fossil fuels towards renewable energy. So, and here we take a look on the supply chain. You might recognize that. That's Gazprom oil platform Pridazlomnaya on the Arctic Ocean, where we had 2 demonstrations in the autumn 2012 and last autumn, which then, because of the Russian reaction, created quite a big coverage in world news. And I just read the Eurobond brochure of Gazprom, stating that Gazprom itself now stated that environmental organizations might be a risk for their business. So that is, of course, what we are hoping for. And then somebody uses the fuel. This is Volkswagen. We had a campaign against Volkswagen because Volkswagen was the main lobbyist against stricter EU regulations for car emissions. So we had several occasions where we communicated this problem and also directly to the customers, which then also this one ended happily. Volkswagen announced that they are now working for stricter regulations in the EU, and so the the German car industry were broken after that in Brussels. Another example, first to investigate. This is a river in China. The problem is the toxics that come from the textile industry in China, where a huge amount of world's clothes are produced. Here they are studied in our science unit laboratory in the University of Exeter, and they were pretty toxic. Then we documented this and published the report in Beijing, of course in China because the problem is mainly Chinese, and then started to communicate to customers. Now we have got more than 10% of the world market, the textile brands that are committed to detox their supply chain until 2020. Among them are the world leaders like Inditex and H&M, the world number 1 and 2. So this is the basic idea how to force the big players of the world to the chains. So I would say that you have now heard two different types of approach, but still I would say pretty much similar. We have recognized that you of course grassroots movements are important, but it's the big players of the world that you have to make to do some changes, whether it's with cooperation or whether it is first putting some pressure on them and then to reach some cooperation. Both works, I would say, but the basic thing is that the situation is urgent and we need the big players to change. And these are the Arctic 30 demonstrators that were demonstrating against Arctic oil drilling in Russia. So I would, on behalf of them, also thank you for listening to me, and I hope you a very nice conference today.